Hello and welcome back once again to the Wrestling Rant. It is Monday, June 17th, 2013, and tonight was Raw from Grand Rapids, Michigan. The show starts off with a recap of Payback, essentially the whole pay-per-view. After that, Ricardo comes out and gets booed, and he introduces Alberto Del Rio, who also gets booed. Del Rio comes out and they go down to the ring, and Del Rio's talking, cutting a promo. It's an obvious heel promo, and he's getting booed. So yes, it does appear that what happened last night was supposed to be a double turn. Anyways, while Del Rio is talking, actually I think he had basically finished his promo and he was getting ready to leave, and CM Punk's music hits and he comes down. And Punk comes down and he says that the reason why he came down was Del Rio mentioned the best. He thought he was the best, you know? And so Punk's like, no, I'm the best. And so he's talking some more, and Heyman came down with Punk. I forgot to mention that, but Heyman came down with Punk, even though there was a WWE.com exclusive backstage after his match with Jericho last night. Punk had a little talk with Heyman and said that, you know, we're friends, but I'm not your client. You know, Curtis Axel is your client, Brock Lesnar is your client, but I'm not your client. I'm just your friend. And so anyways, but Punk and Heyman come down and they interrupt Del Rio, and Punk's talking, and then Heyman tries to interject because it sounded like Punk wants a match with Del Rio. And Heyman interjects and he's like, but no, we don't fight for free. And Punk's essentially telling Paul to shut up, because he's like, you know, Punk don't really care about the money. He wants to prove himself. And so, yeah, another obvious thing from Payback is obviously Punk is turning face now. So, So anyways, after Punk tells Heyman to shut up and piss off, basically, like I said, it's looking like Punk wants a match with Del Rio later tonight. But Del Rio's like, no, you don't really want this. And Punk's like, yes, I do. And I'm like, yeah, he does. Del Rio, you're a bitch. You screwed Dolph Ziggler over last night. But anyways, so they're kind of arguing, and Vicky comes out with Brad. So it's Bricky. And so they come out, and Vicky says, you know what, I agree with Punk. I think we really need to have this match. So she announces that later on, sure enough, we're going to have Del Rio and Punk. Okay, great. And so that's pretty much the end of that segment. They go to a commercial, and when they come back, Punk and Heyman are backstage. And essentially, this is just a repeat of, like I said, the backstage exclusive from last night. And actually, it is kind of new, because not only does Punk say, you know, I'm not your client, I don't want you out there at ringside with me anymore. Because apparently what Punk said was, you almost cost me the match last night with Jericho. I don't remember seeing that, but whatever, I guess it happened. I guess. I don't know. But anyways, so So yeah, Punk says, I don't want you out there with me anymore. So, looking like that relationship is ending. And they cut back to the ring, and Wade Barrett is already in the ring. And it's supposed to be a rematch for the Intercontinental title, him and Curtis Axel. But Vicky Guerrero comes out again with Brad, and she says that, I know you want your rematch with Curtis Axel. You want to get your Intercontinental title back that you don't even deserve in the first place. But instead, I'm going to have you go against this man. And there's kind of a little bit of a delay, and then all of a sudden, Christian's music hits. Yay, Christian's back, about a month and a half late. But whatever, I'll take it because, the guy puts on a fucking good match. So, okay. What in the fuck?
Hello.
Oh, anyways. So Christian comes back, and he comes out, and he goes down to the ring, and he's gonna have a match with Wade Barrett. And they start having their match. Once again, the cliff notes on this. Wade Barrett sucks the life out of any frickin' match he's in, so I can't hardly pay attention, even if it is Christian. I'm sorry. The guy bores me to death. He's boring, he's got no charisma, and he rips off moves from other people. That's all I can say. The guy's a hack, and he doesn't deserve a push. He doesn't deserve to get the Intercontinental title back, even if Axel doesn't deserve to have it in the first place. I really would have rather had Miz win that match, or if Fandango hadn't been cussed by that piece of shit Ryder, I would have liked him to have the damn belt. But we fucked that up.
Hello.
So whatever. So, anyways, but they're having their match. And again, the cliff notes, because I couldn't pay attention. Wade Barrett winds up on the outside of the ring, and Christian dives down on him from the top rope. Back in the ring, Christian's able to hit a tornado DDT, and sometime after that, he hits the kill switch, the unpretty, or whatever you want to call it. He hits it, and he wins. So Barrett essentially just gets squashed. The match was decent, but it was kind of short. Whatever the fuck. After that, they start hyping up another one of their stupid WWE app fan voting things for a match that's coming up later tonight. It's going to be Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton for some reason. And the vote is for what stipulation the match is going to have. And the choices are no DQ, no countout, or 2 out of 3 falls. So anyways, they're hyping that up. And that's going to happen later up. The fan voting isn't even taking place yet. They show another stupid Bray Wyatt video, and then they cut to commercial. When they come back, there's another recap of the Sheamus and Damian Sandow match from the pre-show of the pay-per-view last night. And when we cut back to the ring, the Rhodes Scholars, both of them, are in the ring. And then out comes Sheamus. And apparently, this is a 2-on-1 Tornado Rules handicap match. So they don't even have to tag. And I guess what they figured is, Sandow can't beat Sheamus by himself. So we need to have his buddy Cody Rhodes there with him. It's the only way Sandow can win, right? Well, they start having their match, and essentially they're, utilizing heel tactics to beat to beat up on Sheamus. And the funny thing about that is that Sheamus has been the one acting like a heel this whole time. Bullying Sandow, kicking his computer, just being a royal dick. I don't get this. Anyways, so yeah, they're doing their 2-on-1 thing, and they're actually beating him down fairly well. Again, cliff notes, because I didn't really care. I kind of almost assumed that Sheamus was going to win again. Because, of course, him being Cena 2.0, of course that's what you'd think would happen. But actually, what happens is, Sandow winds up on the outside of the ring. And so Sheamus is working on Rhodes. And he gets Rhodes down, and he goes into the corner, and it's looking like he's going for the brogue kick. He starts going for it. Sandow jumps in the ring out of nowhere. Schoolboy rolls up Sheamus and gets the 3 count. He actually finally beats him on a Raw in a pointless match, in a handicap match. He couldn't do it last night at the pay-per-view when it would have actually counted or meant something. No. We have to give Sheamus the win at the pay-per-view because, because fuck you. But anyways, so Sandow actually manages to get the win, and then he bails out of the ring, of course, because, you just screwed Sheamus out of a win, you'd run too. And he leaves Cody in the ring all by himself. I guess Cody was still dazed after whatever it was that Sheamus had hit him with to set up the brogue. I think it was the white noise, actually. So, of course, he's still selling the white noise. Cody gets up and gets brogue kicked by Sheamus anyways. So again, Sheamus still acting like a heel. Acting like a sore loser and a dick. I do not understand how he's not considered a heel at this point. He's bullied Sandow. Hell, he's bullied Cody Rhodes. They had a couple of matches where Sheamus just beat the crap out of him. I don't get this. But anyways, he brogue kicks Cody anyways. He laughs it off and he leaves. They cut backstage. No, they don't cut backstage. They start saying, on Twitter apparently, Mark Henry has basically been saying that, they said he was coming back last night. On Twitter he was saying that he's done. He's going to retire. And so they showed this picture of him, and it's like, is he retiring or whatever? And then after that, they show the RVD video from last night, the same one. And then they cut to a commercial. We come back from the commercial. Brad and Vicky are in the office backstage with Triple H. And he essentially tells them that, you guys have been doing a good job running Raw, but I really need you guys to crack down on the Shield. If they do anything tonight that's underhanded or whatever the fuck, I need you to do whatever is necessary. It doesn't matter how hard you have to be on them. Do whatever is necessary to get this under control. Apparently, I don't know why, but Triple H has a bone to pick with the Shield. I guess, he knows that they have talent, so he's going to do whatever he can to bury them. Fucking dickhead that he is. But anyways, they cut to another backstage segment of Daniel Bryan in the dressing room, and then Kane comes up. And they're talking back and forth and whatever, and they're really teasing the end of Team Hell No and everything. And you know what? It's about damn time it ended, because the gimmick lost its touch a long time ago. The whole dysfunctional thing, it was kind of funny, and then, it got old. So... But anyways, so they're doing this thing, and they're talking, and it's not like they hate each other now. It's more like an amicable sort of split, I guess. But they don't really know if it's done yet or not. They don't know if they're going to split up. Me neither. I don't really care. So, anyways... Whoosh. After that, they cut to another commercial. When they come back, Randy Orton is coming out. And then Bryan comes out. It looks like it's time for their match. And, it's looking like it's time for their match, and Lawler gets in the ring, and he's announcing the whole vote thing. And, yeah, we had this, we've seen this crap from before. It's the whole voting thing. It's dumb. The results come up, and it's going to be a no DQ match. So, yeah, they start having their match. And it goes about as you would think, pretty much. Some minor notes. Bryan goes for the suicide dive, and unlike last night, he doesn't actually hit Randy this time. Randy sidesteps it. And since they took a while, you figure it's a no DQ match, they'd go after weapons immediately. Nope, they just start having a regular frickin' match for no reason. Don't get this. I love how the WWE thinks they can do this. They put stipulations on matches, and then they almost don't come up. It's like, oh, we're going to do a no DQ match, and then the guys aren't going to use weapons hardly at all. Or they wait until, 5-10 minutes into the match to actually finally bust it out. They did it here, too. 5 minutes or so into the match, they finally start using weapons. Randy goes onto the ring and gets a kendo stick, and he starts whacking Bryan with it. He jams him in the gut. He gets him on the ground, and he sticks the thing in his gut and just starts jamming it and twisting it in his abdomen. And, let's see, shortly after that, they cut to a commercial. They come back, and Bryan's making his comeback. But apparently, Randy's been really wailing on Bryan, so the doctor is back out again. Like from last night with Ziggler. The doctor's checking on Daniel because he's kind of looking woozy or something. And, so the doc checks on him, but he still wants to go, and he gets kind of mad, and he starts really fighting with Randy, But anyways, it doesn't really matter much. Back outside the ring, Randy backdrops Bryan on the barricade, and he just bends in half looks like it would have hurt like a motherfucker. And after that, the doctor stops the match and awards it to Randy. Okay, so whatever. And the doctors are checking on Bryan again, and okay, fine. And you're thinking, okay, well, this would be the good point for, Bryan to turn heel or Randy to turn heel because they've been kind of teasing that for a while. But no. The doctor is checking on Bryan, and there's a couple of referees, and they're checking on him. And Randy goes over and helps him up and kind of shakes his hand, and they just kind of walk back to the backstage, and nothing really happens. So all that teasing for frickin' nothing. Don't get it. Then they cut to a commercial. When they come back, they recap or replay Del Rio's heel promo from earlier, and Punk coming out and cutting him off and challenging him to a match and whatever. Then after that, AJ comes out with her Divas title that she won. And as she's coming out, they recap Kaitlyn crying after the match last night. And AJ cuts a promo. She's saying, I'm basically the best diva and all this other shit. And, she basically lays down an open challenge to any of the divas in the back. If you think you can come and take this title from me, come on out. And I'm thinking, they're going to have some big surprise or something. No. Stephanie's music hits. And out comes Stephanie McMahon, yeah. And I'm like, why? She comes out and she's talking to AJ, and I won't forget this. One of the lines she says is, if you want to be Divas champion, you need to work on not being deceitful and manipulative, and I can't remember what else she said. And I'm thinking, yeah, this coming from the bitch who, when she was women's champion, was deceitful and manipulative and a total cunt and still fucking is. And I'm like, okay, this is the pot calling the kettle black. So, like, fuck you, Stephanie. But there's a couple of spots here where she covers AJ's mic, and she's trying to kind of say something to AJ under her breath, but you can still clearly hear it, because she's not really covering the mic up that well. But she's like, whatever. And then all of a sudden, out comes, or you hear Kaitlyn's music hit, and she comes out, flanked by all the other face divas on the roster. Natalia's there, and the Funkadactyl Twits, and, let's see, Natalia and the Funkadactyls, and Alicia Fox, who can never make up her mind on whether or not she's a face or a heel, and, I can't remember who the other girls are, but the Bellas ain't there, so like I said, this is only the face divas. But, Kaitlyn comes out and kind of interrupting Stephanie, and Stephanie decides to take that as her cue to leave, but on her way out, she stops at Kaitlyn, and she does the kind of covering the mic thing again, but you can still hear her, and she says, "Don't ever interrupt me again." She's apparently got her father's, disdain for people interrupting them. And I'm like, bitch, no one cares about you. Can we please just get to the match? Or whatever. But whatever. Kaitlyn starts talking, and she says, you know what? You got one over on me. But now it's time for payback. Kaitlyn runs down to the ring, and she starts attacking AJ. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that Big E came out with AJ, and he's been standing at ringside this whole time. So they start fighting in the ring, Kaitlyn and AJ, and Kaitlyn's actually beating AJ up, Come on. So she's actually beating AJ up, and AJ rolls out of the ring, and Big E grabs her, and just basically slings her over his shoulder like a caveman, and starts walking up the ramp with her, and AJ's screaming at Kaitlyn the whole time. And I'm thinking, okay, well, all the face divas are still standing on the stage. Are they going to do anything? No. With Big Black there, they just part the ways, and he just walks out with AJ. So, oh yeah, and during the cat fight, I think Kaitlyn had a nip slip. Because the whole picture went black for a split second, and I'm like, oh shit, she had a wardrobe malfunction. Anyways... before they cut to another commercial, they hype up Kane and Dean Ambrose going at it for the U.S. title again, and apparently that's up next. Yeah. So they cut to a commercial. Ambrose comes out first, and then Kane, and they're going for the, of course, the U.S. title match and all this crap. And, But, yeah, so they're having this match, and it's not even all that long, because what ends up happening is, it's looking like Kane might be getting the upper hand, and then all of a sudden, Reigns and Rollins come out of nowhere and start attacking Kane. So the referee throws the match out, DQ. Kane goes to double chokeslam Rollins and Ambrose, but as he turns around, Reigns appears and runs him through with a spear. And then they lift him up for the big triple team powerbomb, and they powerbomb the fuck out of him, and that's it. They don't leave out through the crowd this time, but they leave out towards the side of the stage, like they did the first couple of times they appeared. After that, they cut backstage, and Mark Henry has arrived, and he's back there with the two members of the Primetime Players, who are both seemingly crying, and Tamina for some reason. And again, it's looking like he's going to retire. He's like basically saying his goodbyes to these people who I guess are his friends or whatever. They cut to commercial. We come back, and backstage, the Shield is walking through one of the hallways when they bump into Brad and Vicky. And of course, earlier, Triple H told them to reprimand the Shield if they did anything bad. And so it's looking like they're going to, and Vicky starts saying, I was given instructions to discipline you guys if you did anything like this. And the guys from the Shield are really cocky about it. I think Ambrose says, what are you going to do, give us a spanking? You're going to slap us on the wrist with some bullshit or whatever? Before Vicky can do anything, Vince pops up. And he's actually congratulating the Shield guys, and he's like, I like those guys. And they just kind of walk off, and he's talking with Vicky, and he basically just undermines what Triple H told her to do. He says, don't bother disciplining them or whatever. Again, they're really trying to push this drama in the McMahon family between Vince and Triple H, and I don't give a fuck. I don't think anybody does. The McMahon drama was boring before when it was new. I don't think it's gonna matter now that it's 10 years fucking removed. So, I really don't know why they're doing this. But anyways, they play another damn video for the Wyatt family, and I don't know if it was just my cable connection or whatever, but the Wyatt video got cut off for a commercial. So, don't know what happened there. I don't really care, because the less I have to see of the frickin' Wyatt family and all his hosses, that don't bother me none. Again, I don't know if that was just my cable connection or whatever, but anyways, they cut to a commercial. And when they come back, Zeb Coulter is coming out and talking up, his whole gimmick thing with the We the People and talking about the shit the government's doing. And I find it hilarious that just about everything he says is the truth, and yet he's still the heel. Normally, it's the face who is talking about the truth and everything. But anyways, the whole point of him coming out is he introduces a new guy who's coming into the fold with him and Swagger, and he introduces Antonio Cesaro. And I'm like, okay, well, this could go one of two ways. Either they're using this to bury Cesaro some more, or this is actually going to be a push. But anyways, Cesaro starts heading down to the ring with Coulter, and when he gets in the ring, you can notice that William Regal is in the ring too already. And I'm like, okay, so we have a match, Regal versus Cesaro. And again, cliff notes, because the match wasn't too long. One big thing is Regal goes for his underhook powerbomb that he does, but as he tries to lift Cesaro, he reverses it, lifts Regal up and holds him, still in the same position, and then drops him down, practically on his head. No, actually, he drops him down like a backdrop, essentially. But Cesaro goes down with him, and he just kind of slams Regal down. After that, Cesaro does his swinging headlock thing that he's been doing lately. And then, of course, he uses that to set up the neutralizer. He hits it, and he wins. And then after the match, Coulter gets in the ring, and he's got this thing with him, and they unravel it to display that it's a Don't Tread on Me flag. Of course, the Don't Tread on Me symbol is an iconic thing from American history. And they take this flag out, and then they cover Regal with it. And then they cut backstage to Cena walking through one of the halls, and apparently he's got something he wants to say. After killing Ryback last night, I imagine it's, "Feed me more people to job to me." But anyways, after that, they cut to the RVD video from last night. They play that again, and then they cut to a commercial. When they come back, Cena comes out and talks. And he's talking, basically what he says is, he knows that Money in the Bank is coming up. And he says he wants to deliver a message to whoever it is that wins the Raw Money in the Bank briefcase. He says to whoever wins it, "You will never have an opportune moment to cash in on me. I will always be ready. So as long as I am the WWE Champion, you're not going to have a shot at cashing in on me when I'm vulnerable." Basically saying that if you're going to win this title, you're going to earn it. But he gets done with his promo and he's getting ready to leave, and Mark Henry comes out. And I'm thinking, okay, this is the spot where Henry's going to retire. And he comes out, he gets in the ring, Cena doesn't leave, and Henry actually says, you know what, Cena, you go ahead and stay, because I want you to hear this. And Henry starts talking, he's saying, you know, I've had a good long career in the business, yada yada, all this stuff. He actually starts crying at one point, which, again, kudos to him for being an actor. He can actually cry on command. But he's saying, you know, I've had a good long career, and I want to thank my wife for putting up with it, and my daughter, who always cries when I leave. And he says, baby, I'm coming home to be good daddy and whatever. And it's looking like he's getting ready to leave. Cena gets back in the ring with the belt, and he lets Henry hold up the belt, and he's holding Henry's hand up. And they get done with that, and then Cena goes to hug Henry, and as he goes in for the hug, Henry lifts him up, world's strongest slams him down hard, and he rips off his frickin' pink jacket that he's wearing, his little pink suit coat. He rips that off and throws it. He rips his tie off, and he rips his shirt up, and he starts trash-talking Cena. And I think it's hilarious that he just used this whole thing just to slam Cena. And apparently he's not retiring. So whatever. They cut to commercial. When they come back, they replay that. And Henry's backstage leaving the arena, and he's stopped by Renee Young, and she asks him, you know, whatever the fuck. He ain't retiring. And whatever. So another added little detail about this is when Henry came out, he had his pair of boots. And that's apparently a symbolic thing. When you retire, you leave your boots in the ring or whatever. But Henry actually left him up on the stage as he went down to the ring to do his promo. And as he was leaving after slamming Cena, he picks them back up and takes them with him. And when Renee talked to him, he actually said, I got 2 of these boots because I'm going to stick one of them up Cena's ass. He didn't actually say ass because, of course, PG, he had to say backside. But whatever. We cut back to the ring, and the 3-man band is in the ring. Apparently, Slater is having a match. I'm like, okay, great. Who against? Jericho. Jericho comes out. So I'm like, okay, I'm guessing after he lost to Punk last night, he needs to squash somebody just to, you know, feed his ego or whatever. And that's pretty much exactly what it is. This match was short and it was crap. Only noteworthy things from it is Jericho went for the lion salt, but before he did it, Jinder had distracted the referee on the outside, and so the referee was distracted. Jericho goes for the lion salt. He gets punched in the face by Drew McIntyre. After that, Slater tried to win. He couldn't. Jericho finally does manage to hit the lion salt, and then he hits the code breaker and gets the win. So again, short, crappy match just to feed Jericho's ego. If you're not going to use these 3MB guys, Slater can go bye-bye because he sucks. Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal could be doing so much better right now. Drew McIntyre's a good wrestler, and so's Jinder Mahal. Both of them are okay on the mic. Mahal would make a good heel, of course. Both of them would be good in the mid-card division, you know, IC US title. But for fuck's sake, this jobber shit needs to stop. But anyways, after the match, Jinder and McIntyre try to jump Jericho. They get beat up, and both of them eat code breakers. So Jericho squashes not just Slater, but McIntyre and Mahal too, the whole 3-man band, all 3 of them. They cut backstage, Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman. They do a promo with Matt Stryker, and whatever the fuck. Again, boring, can't fucking pay attention. They cut to a commercial. They come back, and Miz is on commentary, and Sin Cara is in the ring. So we're going to have another match of Sin Cara versus Curtis Axel. Again, this is the 3rd damn time. And it's really getting old at this point.
I don't have enough mana.
Oh. Okay, so anyways, but anyways, so, yeah, Sin Cara and Axel start having their match. Again, it's boring shit. We've seen this match twice already. Axel wins again, this time using a move that looks like Drew McIntyre's Future Shock DDT. He cinches him up for a regular DDT, and he plants him with kind of like the body scissors thing that McIntyre would do. But he uses that and he beats Sin Cara. Don't know what the fuck. I don't understand why they can't just give him a finisher to stick with. He's used the Magilla Cutter to win matches. He's used the Perfect Plex to use matches. And now this weird Future Shock variation. I don't understand. And something tells me McIntyre might have had words for him in the back. Because you're not supposed to be using people's finishers like that. I mean... Anyways... After that, they cut to another damn commercial, and when we come back, Brad and Vicky are backstage with Vince, and, whatever the fuck. Vince is basically saying, you know, you guys should listen to me and don't worry about what Triple H said earlier. Stephanie comes in, and, she's pissed about the whole thing with the Divas that happened earlier. And then Triple H comes in, and he's like, what the fuck, you know, I told you to punish the Shield guys. And then he finds out that Vince undermined him and all this shit. More with this gay drama. It's really lame. I don't fucking care about the McMahons. This is really old, and it's boring as fuck. The McMahons need to keep their asses off of the show. Vince, we don't want to see you. Stephanie, we don't want to see you. And Triple H, we damn sure don't want to see your punk ass. So, just go away. But anyways, whole big stupid goddamn thing with them. We cut backstage with Punk, and he's talking with Heyman, and he basically says he's reiterating again that I'm just your friend, not a client. I don't need you with me in the match. And Heyman says he loves him. And he hugs him. Really kind of strange. But, yeah, this is all just setting up what's going to happen later. And we'll get back to that. So, what the fuck? Anyways, Del Rio comes out. We cut back to the arena, and Del Rio comes out again getting booed. He's obviously full-blown heel by now. They cut to a commercial again, and Punk comes out when we come back. So we're going to have this match. It goes back and forth pretty much. There's another damn commercial break. When we come back, Del Rio's really aggressive. He starts doing the kidney shots with Punk tied in the ropes, and he does the backcracker again. Punk is able to hit the GTS, but Del Rio falls out of the ring, and he actually clips his head on the bottom rope on the way down. So, bit of a whiplash effect. Might be, you know, fair is fair. You're going to work the guy with a concussion. You might have a fucking concussion now, too. But again, whatever. At that point, after the GTS and Del Rio falling out of the ring, Ricardo runs over and helps Del Rio up and essentially starts carrying him towards the back. Del Rio gets counted out. And so Punk wins by countout. And as Del Rio and Ricardo are kind of limping away, Dolph Ziggler comes out of frickin' nowhere like a bat out of hell, like a wild dog, and starts attacking Del Rio with a fucking vengeance. He is beating the shit out of him, turning around every few seconds to crack Ricardo and get him off because Ricardo's trying to interfere. He's cracking Ricardo, throwing him away, going back to Del Rio, just pounding the fuck out of him like a man possessed. And I'm pretty sure he got a big pop from the crowd because they had said earlier in the night that after what happened at the pay-per-view, Dolph was not medically cleared to wrestle tonight. So that's why he wasn't there. So, but he chases off Del Rio. They go out underneath the set on the side of the stage, and I think what it was is they cut back to Punk, and they announce that he wins by countout, and then Brock Lesnar's music hits, and out comes Brock. And he's doing his little skipping, hopping thing, doing his whole shtick. He comes down to the ring, he circles around it. And, he circles around it. He circles around it, he gets in the ring, and he goes over and he grabs a mic. And he puts it up to his lips like he's going to say something, but then he drops it, lifts Punk up, and F5s the shit out of him. And then Brock leaves. And that's pretty much it. That's the end of the show. So, the end of the show is Punk laying on his face in the ring, grimacing in pain. So, I've heard rumors that they were going to set this up. I've heard it for months, honestly, that they wanted to set up Punk and Brock for SummerSlam. And I don't honestly want to see this because I don't really like Brock. I don't. So, but whatever. As long as Punk wins the feud, I suppose I don't mind, but something tells me he won't win. I just have a nasty feeling that he's not going to win, and it's going to suck when he doesn't. So, but yeah, that's the end of the show. That was the end of Raw, and that's going to do it for this episode of the Wrestling Rant. I got nothing else to say, really. The show was... It was nice to finally have Christian come back, and that was actually something funny. In the one earlier backstage segment with Brad and Vicky and Triple H actually mentioned, it was nice that you brought Christian back, but I heard that he's been cleared to wrestle for like a month and a half, so a little late on that. But I'm like, yeah, you could have done that a lot quicker, hon. And Evan Bourne's cleared to wrestle too. You want to bring him back sometime soon? That would be great, because, I think Sin Cara has had his ass kicked enough. We might as well release him, because he's not going to do shit. And as much as I like Evan Bourne, I really doubt they're ever going to do anything big with him. Honestly, he should come back as a heel and beat the shit out of Kofi. Because Kofi basically abandoned him. They were tag team champions, I think. Or at least they were a big tag team, Air Boom, And when Bourne was suspended for the synthetic weed or whatever it was, Kofi just decided to not even give a shit, and he hooked up with R-Truth, and it was R-Truth Boom or whatever the fuck it was, and they were the tag team champions. Kofi didn't seem to give a shit about Bourne after that, so... Honestly, Bourne should come back and beat the hell out of Kofi, but then again, Kofi's supposedly on injured reserve right now after Ryback destroyed him the other week on SmackDown. By the way, they also did mention that Ryback, after the ambulance match last night, he wasn't medically cleared to wrestle either, so he didn't show his face. He's basically been buried. So, oh well, he sucks anyway, so there's no real... Nothing of value was lost. But anyways, that's it for this episode of the Wrestling Rant. Join us again on, whatever day it's going to be when I finally get around to watching SmackDown. If I manage to get off work early enough, I'll watch it Friday night, and I'll see if I can get the video posted later that night. But it'll probably end up being either Saturday or Sunday, whenever I can watch it from my source online. But anyways, that will do it for the Wrestling Rant. Join us next time for SmackDown. I don't know, I might come up with something else to rant about before then. I doubt it, though. But join us next time, and we will see you then. Thank you for joining us once again. We'll see you next time.